Welcome, everybody, to podcast number 144. We're live. Are you guys excited?
Woo! Nobody can stop me now.
Oh, no. That's true.
So today is March 12th. And like I said, we're live on Twitch TV. Oh, my gosh. And tomorrow, on the 13th, we'll release this on our normal podcast mediums, iTunes, and our podcast page. With me in the studio is... Tell them who you are, guys.
I'm Margaret Crone. I'm also known as Luperza. I'm the Community Relations Representative for PlanetSide 2.
And I'm Senior Community Manager Eric Paistro-Cleaver. And in this sense, I'm a Community Manager for EverQuest.
And, of course, I'm Amy Ashley Rakowski, Community Team Project Manager. And monitoring your chat and banning your face if you're bad is Tony Radar X Jones. So watch out.
See him for PlanetSide 2.
That's right. So the theme for this podcast is the EverQuest's 14th anniversary. We've got an interview with Jonathan Kierker. We're going to talk about anniversary quests, epic ornamentation. We have information on giveaways, and we are going to share your memories. Aren't you excited?
We have some good ones.
I'm excited.
I am quite excited.
All right.
My excited face.
That's your
which nobody
excited
out there
face.
can see.
I like how his tone was like, I am so excited. Like a monotone. Oh, no.
Eric, will you tell us about the anniversary?
Well, you did mention it's the 14th anniversary for EverQuest.
14 years.
14 years.
Awesome.
It's hugely awesome. It's a big, important date here at SOE. It really represents sort of the genesis for our company. EverQuest is where we came from.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we
and
started.
It's a big tie-in for, EverQuest, EverQuest 2, and some of our other EverQuest products. So it's an exciting time here at SOE. It's almost like a birthday of the company. Kinda.
Yeah. Big milestone.
And, it's a big time, of course, in EverQuest, the game itself. This year, a lot of new anniversary quests. They all came out of SOE Live. We have 5 quests total, one of which is the first to feature level-agnostic gameplay in EverQuest, not using shrouds.
Ooh.
For years, we've had the possibility of level-agnostic gameplay with shrouds, but people don't want to play shrouds. They want to play their own characters.
Exactly.
So we added in this year the ability in one of the quests to have some level-agnostic gameplay, which is exciting. It's also my introduction into the canon of EverQuest because my character will actually be featured in one of these quests.
So cool.
Yes, it's about me trying to take a day off, and the devs, of course, calling me back to work.
You don't get days off.
I don't really get days off.
Awesome. So you guys are going to talk about epic quests. Eric and Maggie have both done this before.
Oh gosh, so
many
times, so long ago. I mean, man, EverQuest. I just want to go back to my first experience in EverQuest. That game is amazing.
Platforms in Kellyton.
Well, my first experience was I made a necromancer, and I was leveling, and this ginormous rat. I was killing rats and little spiders, and this freaking ginormous rat came out and just ate my face, and I was like, what just happened? I just literally died. And whenever you died in EverQuest, it was hard. You had to go back and get your corpse, and it was just rough. It was very rough, and I was like, I'm going to go back and kill that rat. And I got revenge, and it was amazing. It was beautiful.
So I don't know if you've noticed this. I know you've been playing EverQuest some recently,
but a little bit here and there.
We added in Slayer achievements, so now you can get your rat killer title.
Just kill them all. Revenge on all the rats. No, I just wanted that one. That one needed to die.
Over and over and over again.
Yes.
Yes, but you can, not only do you get a rat killer title, you get a special skill called Bane Strike, which can be upgraded so you can kill rats even better than before.
What if you just killed a named?
It's a rat. It counts for the achievement.
Yeah, but you should get another achievement for just killing the named over and over.
I'll talk to designer Chris Zarn Black about it and make sure we get it on his schedule.
Yes, make it happen. Well, I mean, if we're talking about epic quest lines, I think for me the major thing was that oh man, I had so many memories. I think most of my memories are from actually helping my friends because, like, I know we were talking a little bit before the podcast, like Ragefire. Oh my gosh, we'd camp there for days to help my cleric friend out, and it was just ridiculous. Not only that, but like we actually had a story about Raster, which for some reason my boyfriend like wants to call, and he like fights with me about like calling it Raster instead of Raster. I'm like, no, it looks like Raster. It's Raster.
It is in fact totally Raster.
Okay, so I am right. So I'm gonna go back tonight. I'm gonna be like, I was right. We
There
were
are-
like yelling at each other.
I totally
What is
believe
this
it.
to
we
argue
don't
about?
fight about like normal things that people fight about in relationships. We fight about like game related stuff.
I believe it. In the EverQuest design meetings, there will be frequent like discussions. Is it Lucklin or Looselin? It's Lucklin,
Lucklin.
by the way. But like even the designers will disagree. So we now have a rule on EverQuest that any name we were going to put it in the game.
Everyone has to be able to pronounce it.
They have to be able to pronounce it. Otherwise, we're not allowed to use it anymore.
I like that rule.
Yes.
So-
It was the subject of much controversy with the latest expansion because we had an NPC named, I want to say, Zexy Shar, and he came up with a rather controversial nickname internally on the team. They referred to him as Sexy Pants.
Which sounds fabulous to me.
He's a dragon, so I don't think he really wears pants.
It's okay.
So, Eric, you've done epic quests.
Yes, I've done a number of my epic quests. I've done the Necromancer 1.5, 2.0. I've done the Beast Lord 1.0. And way back in the day, before it was nerfed into its comparative easy mode, in comparative easy mode, I mean it only takes 60 hours,
Yeah, when
I
they
did
say
the
epic,
Cleric
they literally
1.0.
mean epic.
So,
Yeah.
can you tell us about epic ornamentation?
So, it's the anniversary.
Yes.
And one of the biggest memories we all have is doing our epic quests. In my case, trying to stay up for 7 days straight to Camp Ragefire by myself.
That's unhealthy.
Yes, I failed after 97 hours.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, there is not enough Red Bull, evidently.
Yeah, but back then it wasn't even Red Bull. Like, I think it was Volts or something like that. Was the
Jolt
Jolts?
Cola.
That's what it was.
Red Bull
right.
had just come out, and I was working on Stanford campus at this little store by the track where they do all the athletes working out, running.
Oh my gosh.
You're
so
sitting there gaming and
they
checking
had,
your Jolts.
They released Red Bull,
Hardcore.
and that was like one of the early test markets, so I was pounding the Red Bull back then.
Oh my goodness.
But Epics, big memory for all of us.
Yes.
You know, it's one of those things that you had to have a good group of friends to do. It was a bonding experience. It was an experience in shared suffering in some cases.
I mean, for me, it's a social aspect that I don't really get in a lot of games now. Like, just holding a camp, the tension that you get. Like, you see someone come up to the camp and you're like, you know why they're there, and they know why you're there, and you're just both like, do we help each other, or do we fight for it? I miss contested content. Like, games don't have that as much anymore, and I think that's one of the coolest parts because it engages you and encourages you to have that social communication that you just don't get,
I'm sure
anywhere else.
customer service doesn't miss that kind of content.
I have a really funny story about this. I'm going to step away from the point that I'm supposed to be talking about and tell this one.
Uh-oh.
So, just last year at Dragon Con,
Ooh.
a friend of mine wanted to attend a panel by Bob Salvatore talking about some of his books he's written. And I thought it was a great chance for me to come along and, get a picture of me handing him some station cash cards, trying to get him to come back to EverQuest.
Oh, no.
Because I love trolling. So, he was really, really nice guy, really gracious. He spent a lot of time. And the first thing he mentioned is camping Raster of Guk.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
I mean,
'cause
I did. That was like one of the first things I thought of.
if you camped Raster, you know what pain is. And joy when you finally kill him. So he had camped him for a while and was logging in every hour on the hour right at the time that Raster was supposed to spawn. And so I think after 29 hours, he finally logs in, sees Raster up, and he's so excited. And then the 17 other monks in the room pounce on him.
Oh, no.
And he was just, in first-person view, he was standing right where Raster spawned, so he had no idea anybody else was there.
He just saw, like,
Yeah.
that's it.
But
Oh,
he had
man.
said that one of his proudest moments in gaming was completing the Monk Epic quest, and that I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those quest lines, because of the fact that you had to camp them and having friends was very beneficial. I mean, I formed some lifelong friendships. Like, I have friends from EverQuest who are still my friends today, and you know, we still game together. We still hang out. We sometimes meet up in real life. Like,
Yeah, me too.
yeah, it's
The friend I was hanging out with at Dragon Con who wanted to go to the panel was somebody who helped me camp my Cleric Epic.
nice.
Yeah. So
Epic ornamentation.
epic ornamentation. Back on track.
She's like,
We,
sorry,
we have
my
returned to topic.
Get this
So the
back on track.
point of Epic ornamentations is we have these experiences which we are intensely connected to and intensely proud of.
Mm-hmm.
But unless you're a necromancer, you're probably not wielding your epic in your main hand anymore. So how to show that you've done this accomplishment, how to show it off, how to remain that experience to remain part of your gameplay today.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've done is added in quests, one for each of the classes, so 16 quests, that really go back into the old lore and offer some unique experiences and allow people to get an ornamentation that can be used on pretty much any weapon. There's some limitations.
Mm-hmm.
The Cleric Epic 2.0 is a shield,
Mm.
so you have to have you can only use that ornamentation on a shield. But so for Shaman, whose their epics were spears, the Spear of Fate, the Epic 1.0, they can use that on any one-handed weapon.
Okay.
Maybe even any two-handed weapon. I'm not sure.
Oh, gotcha.
So they can find a way to use it. You can even use like the Shadow Knight Epic on a one-handed weapon, even though it was a two-hander originally.
Okay.
So it's really exciting in that way. You'll be able to show it off.
That's cool.
The other really cool part about this is the quests themselves. So I mentioned Chris Black earlier. He's a designer on EverQuest, really popular with the players because he does some really, really wacky stuff in-game. Not like wacky like rabbits wearing hats wacky, but like
That would be kind of cool.
deep lore, knowledge of the game.
Yeah.
Chris is remarkably knowledgeable about EQ.
Gotcha.
So he did all these quests that tie into the old lore and that tie into a lot of the things that EverQuest players want to see. So in the Wizard Epic quest, you burn down the new Freeport.
What? Wow.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
You know,
it's fine. It's fine. It's just burned down. No biggie.
Everybody
It's just
who
Freeport.
plays EverQuest would love a chance to burn down
Yeah.
the new Freeport, and the developers would too. So, you know, we were happy to give people this opportunity.
Oh, nice. Someone's like it should be.
It's not permanent though, right?
No, it's in
Okay.
an instance.
Okay, gotcha.
My personal favorite of the quests that I've seen, and I haven't seen all of them yet,
Yeah.
is the Necromancer Epic Ornamentation quest, because it refers to an old friend who hired me into the industry, a GM, and their battle against Fancy the Famous Bard.
Awesome.
And if you guys who are listening to the podcast don't know who Fancy is,
You're wrong.
Google Fancy the Famous Bard. It's spelled Fansy.
It's funny.
And then
Funny
laugh.
stuff.
A lot.
Okay.
Okay, so I've been told I'm taking too long. Shocked here.
So, what else are we going to talk about?
So, Amy, are we doing any giveaways on Facebook
Yes.
in regards to the EverQuest anniversary?
Yes, we are. So we are going to be giving away 5 bundles that include a $15 station cash card, which can be used as $15 in station cash or 1 month of membership,
Nice.
gold membership. An EverQuest license plate, which says my other mount is a Lava Braxy.
That's awesome.
yes.
I want that.
Yes, and an EQ map, a cloth map.
Cool.
So that starts on Friday, and you have a chance to enter one person per entry, and that runs all the way through Monday.
Also,
Awesome.
I just
Yeah.
want to note that if you are hanging out with us live on twitch.tv/SOE, Gracklin, who is from MMORPG, I believe, is actually in chat, and he provided the link for the fancy thing.
Oh,
So,
awesome,
it's
awesome.
Good job.
Yeah. So
Fancy rules.
we're gonna give you guys some news from our other games as well. But before we do that, Eric has some EQ specific news, and I have some guide program specific news. So go, Eric.
Okay, so we're doing a lot of really cool stuff for the anniversary. Now, the one I'm going to mention is that over the anniversary weekend, which will be the 15th, 16th, and 17th, I
That's
believe,
right. Yep.
we're having double experience.
Oh yeah.
There's also a ton of other stuff going on, and it's so much that I can't even really summarize it for the podcast. So what I'm going to ask you to do is go to the EverQuest website,
cheater,
and
lame.
check the news article. I know I'm totally lame, but there's 35 different dates involved and 15 different things we're doing. So I'm going to just say it's better for you to read it on the website than for me to get it wrong on the podcast.
And we'll definitely put the link for that in the show notes so that you guys can click right on that. And then I wanted to tell you that the guide program is celebrating the Festival of Time in the month of March. This is the festival that celebrates the EQ anniversary. The librarians of Myrist, who have been charged with I can't say that word, but they're chronicling. Thank you, Maggie. And keeping the historical records for North are appropriately heading this celebration. Librarians, scholars, and the like will venture forth into North and spread timeless tales of ancient history and help the peoples of EverQuest remember their past. So be on the lookout for them. Guides usually don't post when they're going to be online, so you got to keep your eyes open. But
and attack them.
No, don't attack them.
Well, some quests you attack, guys.
Some don't. Right. So you guys ready to take away the news?
I just like killing things.
I say go news.
Here we go.
Thanks, team. This is Colette Dexella Murphy with the news portion of podcast number 144. In DC Universe, Game Update 24 launches this week and features our first Tier 4 alert, a conversion of the Batcave Inner Sanctum raid, and the return of our St. Patrick's Day seasonal event. In PlanetSide 2, Game Update 4 is almost here. Players can expect brand new weapons, a virtual reality training center, and a lot more later this week. Don't forget to check out MLG Dallas, where PlanetSide 2 will live stream discussion with developers and players at the event. Here's some great news for EQ and EQ2 players. The free-to-play and silver memberships have been updated. These changes, which include the removal of class and race restrictions, will go live later this week. For more information, visit EverQuest.com or EverQuest2.com and read the letter from Director of Development David Georgeson. In kids game news, Clone Wars Adventures and Free Realms have Tuesday Tips Day. Check out the official web pages for both games if you are in need of gaming advice. Have your own advice to share? There is information available on how you can do it in each week's Tips Day article. Also, don't miss out on sneak peeks. We've been posting images of what's next for both games on Facebook lately. Links will be available in the show notes. In Vanguard, check out a sneak peek of the new Dragonbone armor set, Vanguard's newest armor set design. The Dragonbone armor set will be available with the game update on March 14th, 2013. In Wikia news, last week we added Telonica, the Vanguard wiki, to our lineup of official SOE wikis. Check it out at vanguard.wikia.com and get involved. Are you going to be at PAX East? SOE is with a community meet and greet. Come hang out with SOE folks in the lobby bar at the Westin and chat about Dragon's Prophet, PlanetSide 2, the EverQuest franchise, and other exciting news and events from SOE. It's on Friday, March 22nd, 2013 at the Westin Boston Waterfront Hotel in the lobby bar from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Back to you guys in the studio.
And we are back for only just a moment because we're going to take it away to the interview in just one moment. Eric interviewed Jonathan Prathen-Carricker, who is...
Prathen,
I'm so sorry. The brand new lead designer for EverQuest. And they talked more about the anniversary, more in-depth details.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. I worked with him pretty closely on Free Realms, doing some lore aspects of that, and it was great working with him. If you ever did play Free Realms, he worked on the Ninja Quest line as well. It was pretty fun.
All right, so we're going to take it away.
So I'm here today with Jonathan Prathen-Carricker. Is it Prathen or Prathen?
Whichever one you want is fine. Thought it was Prathen, but enough people call me Prathen that I'll pretty much answer to either one. So, hey you.
Okay.
That guy.
There we go. Well, long and colorful names for devs in the EverQuest community. So you're the new lead designer for EverQuest. What's your history? What's your history with EverQuest? What's your history with SOE? How did you arrive at this prestigious position?
How did we get here? That's a long and sordid history. Back in 1999, on March 16th, I went to the store to pick up a copy of EverQuest. Went to my local CompUSA, and they were sold out. They didn't have a copy on the shelf. So I had to come back a couple days later and pick up my copy then. I still have the original receipt from March 18th, 1999. That night, I created my first character, and my wood elf bard was born in Kelethin, and he promptly fell off and died. And that was pretty much his life was dying horribly to falling or the guards or whatever.
He's a bard. He deserved it.
Yeah, and of course I'm sure he had it coming. Yeah.
Okay, so you obviously started playing EverQuest. Liked the game?
I love the game. Yeah, we played it nonstop. I was in college at the time, and somehow between work and going to classes and studying and homework, I found a lot of time to play EQ. So we started out playing fairly casually, and ended up joining a casual guild, and then transitioning to a raid guild, and was one of the co-officers in my guild on a server that shall not be named.
So, how did you start working here at SOE?
I was still working at the college that I graduated from. I got a degree in computer science back in 2001, and was just working on campus doing like help desk stuff, which was great. But I saw they were looking for help desk techs at SOE, and I felt like I could probably do that. And I loved EverQuest, and I was interested in kind of getting my foot in the door and kind of working for a game company. So I applied, came down and interviewed, and they pulled me over. So on April 1st, 2002, I started as a tech support guy upstairs in the tech support area, saying things like, "Thank you for calling Sony Online Entertainment. My name is Jonathan. Can I get your name and telephone number, please?" And applied internally after about 9 months for an apprentice position on EQ, and got in there and worked a whole lot. It was between Planes of Power and Legacy of Akisha when I came over. So there's still some touch-up stuff going on with Pop. I think when I came over on the team, they had just beaten Kornov, but they hadn't beaten the Wraith yet. That took a while. Sorry for those of you who were working on that. And I started doing apprentice work, and gradually got more and more experience with EverQuest until I was doing quite a few of the raids, and then later on some spell design stuff.
Cool. And I actually think that is a really interesting point that you made in that story. 2 points. One is that when you're looking to get into the industry, any way in the industry is a win. If you get in tech support, you can move on to design. The important thing is getting your foot in the door, getting people to know you, things like that.
Yeah. There's a good number of people on our team, and in fact, probably all the teams, who started out in community or QA, customer service, tech support, and then they worked their way into a design position internally, or just a higher position at the company, whatever was in their wheelhouse.
And the second thing that really excites me about SOE that you mentioned was our apprenticeship program. Mm-hmm. I'm always amazed that when you work here, you can have a chance to apprentice in a different department and learn some of the skill set, see if you like it, see if they like you. It really offers an internal avenue for promotion and doing a different job that you might be better suited for or enjoy more.
Yeah. The opportunity for advancement, I think, here is really great. I don't know what it's like at other game companies. I can't speak for them, but I think it's a great opportunity at SOE that you can start in an entry-level position somewhere and then work your way up. And probably more than half the people on the EQ team at this point have gone that avenue.
Yeah, it really increases the knowledge base, too. If you've worked in customer support,
you know exactly what the problems are.
I'm sure you had, when I get on the team, I'm fixing this bug, because I get called 4 times a week on it.
Not long ago, we had a thing where we were sitting with customer service for a couple hours every week or so. And it was amazing the bugs we could find and fix from there. You could see an issue, you could watch it happen, you could really get a good idea of what the problem was, go back to your desk and fix it. And that's, it cut through a lot of the red tape, I guess, that you kind of get when you don't know exactly what the problem is, and you don't know how to fix it, and you don't know whose zone it was.
A funny story, I had a petition in-game, and one of the devs answered my petition.
Nice.
And I was, chuckling away, because of course they have no idea who my play character is. I mean, they could figure it out if they really wanted, but I was like, I'm going to have to go give him a hard time after he finishes up his petition, but not before. Okay, so what are you most proud of designing in EverQuest?
I think I had the most fun. I have the most amount of pride, I guess, for the work we did in Dreadspire back in Depths of Dark Hollow. That was EverQuest's 10th expansion. It's the expansion that the progression servers are working on right now. And I had pretty much an entire design cycle for that expansion just to work on Dreadspire. That was all I did. So I had a lot of time to kind of work back and forth with the artist and kind of come up with the aesthetic of the zone we were trying to get across, and the different characters that were going to be there, how we wanted the players to progress through the zone. And we had the time to put in, I think it's over 1,000 different unique texts in that zone. You know, there's a lot of lore, a lot of different emitted text when you walk into certain areas, stories that characters will tell. Just a tremendous amount of detail and attention to the little things went into that zone, and I feel like it really showed off in the end product.
Certainly. That's not a zone I'm as familiar with.
Oh, well, you got to go play it. So.
Now I want to go back and play it.
Yeah.
I need to de-level a character or something so he's appropriately leveled for the
yeah, it's great in the
zone.
There's two versions of it. There's the base zone, which is for groupers basically, and the raid zone, which is the end zone for the expansion. And in the group zone, there's a lot of areas you can go to, and the NPCs they're friendly with you, or friendly enough that they'll talk to you, and you can get lore that way. So that's one of the ways that we could deliver lore to the players from the NPCs directly without having to drop notes or
awesome
have them say something when they die. And yeah.
So let's talk about EQ now. So you're now the lead designer. What does a lead designer do on the EverQuest team? Do you tell everybody these are my cool ideas and you have to go implement them, or what's your role with the team?
I wasn't sure exactly what I was getting into when I accepted the position. I've been doing it for about a month now, and it appears to be primarily meetings. So it's quite a change of pace from being able to work on some things or work on all the things before. Now I'm pretty much supporting the rest of the team. I'm helping people out. I'm giving them the resources they need. I'm organizing brainstorming sessions. I'm organizing meetings. I'm getting information to, whichever ancillary department needs it. I'm providing test samples for coders who are testing things, or finding a designer that can do that for them. So it's much more of a managerial role. And it's fun, but it's definitely different than a standard design hands-on job.
So you're more the glue that binds the entire design team together.
That's true. Yes, the force that binds us, and
that is a challenging role. The EverQuest team is a high-spirited bunch.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
Yes. So you're going to have a pretty significant influence on the future direction of design as this glue that binds all the different ideas and all the different things we're doing together. Where do you see your influences be in EverQuest?
I think that the best thing I can do for the team is just to allow everyone to have a voice and to allow everyone to sort of have their input, and so we can determine as a group what the right course of action is. I think that all of us are smarter than any of us, and so the situations where we can kind of come to a consensus, or as close of a consensus as possible among the people who are related to a particular topic will be the best decision and further the game.
Okay. So one of the first big in-game things you guys did as a team that I saw was the housing exercise. So you want to tell our players a little bit about what the housing exercise was and what you learned from it?
Yeah, so we had implemented the housing system, and we were worried that it wasn't getting as much use as it kind of warranted. And so we all sat down together and tried out the system on our own to see what we thought about it, to see if we had ran into any snags, to see if there were any bugs we could find, or any ways we could kind of streamline the process of building a house. And it actually was an eye-opener. It's a very powerful system. There's a whole lot you can do with it, especially once you learn the hotkeys and once you learn how to manipulate and rotate and move items, and that you can use things for things they weren't necessarily intended for. Like one of our apprentice designers made a castle entirely out of tables, and it looks amazing. I never even imagined that you could slap a bunch of tables together in such a way that it would create a palace, but that was very creative. But yeah, we definitely found some things that we could change right away that would make the process easier, make it easier to get items, make it easier to carry items. I think a lot of us found that we didn't have enough giant slots in our bags on our character to hold all the things we wanted to carry back to our homes. So I think we're making the items a little smaller and a little less heavy, or making that easier would smooth out the process a bit. And there were a ton of great suggestions from everybody who tried it. It was not just the designers, but everyone on the team got the chance to work on the housing project, to make his own, and I think we all came back with some really valuable feedback. And I can't guarantee the stuff will be in the game next patch or even the patch after that, but I think we're going to have a comprehensive list of changes that'll make that a lot easier to use.
Definitely, a list to work off to gradually improve the system. Cool. So, anniversary coming up. That's what this whole podcast is about. How do you feel about the EverQuest anniversary? What does it mean to you personally?
I think it's an opportunity to revisit some of the nostalgia from original EverQuest. I feel like one of the greatest resources we can tap into in the game is that it's got 14 years of history, and there's so much nostalgia for things that we've done, for quests we've completed, for places we visited, for the old characters that we bumped into and get killed or they killed us. So I think the anniversary is the best time to kind of highlight the great history of EQ and let people go back and experience some of those old things. And we've done that via the Fabled mobs, obviously. There's going to be some epic ornamentation quests going in this patch. They're going to stay around forever, but they're sort of anniversary themed because they are throwbacks to the original epics and the lore and the history of the classes that acquire them.
Definitely. I mean, for me, one of the defining moments in playing EverQuest was getting my Cleric Epic for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Back before it was easy mode. And by easy mode, I mean it's still pretty brutally hard.
Was it Skyfire or Soul B?
Soul B and Skyfire.
Oh yeah. The fights over that spawn.
Yeah, I tried to camp
got some
Ragefire for 7 days.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we did that too. Our guild stayed up all night, watching that spot. Somebody had to be there killing the giants and watching that spot. And as soon as the guy spawned, you had to call everyone on your guild, no matter what time it was, and they had to log in and kill that dragon. So that was an experience. That's not something I think I could do now, but it made sense at the time when I was like 24.
Yeah, now I think my boss would frown on it. Have you not finished your epic yet? Hurry up! I have other things for you to do. Only at SOE can you have that conversation literally as part of a meeting at work. So after the anniversary, the next thing that's coming up is the game update, Shadows of Fear. Now, this is still pretty early in the cycle. We're not revealing too much information. Do you have any hints, any teasers, anything you're excited about? If you let it slip out, nobody can stop you now.
They can't stop me now. Okay, good. Well, there's going to be a new god that the players are going to get to see, a new plane. I hope that doesn't give away too much. If so, I'm sorry. Please don't fire me. And we'll be revisiting a race that has been a major player in EverQuest a couple times already.
Awesome. I cannot wait to see the forums explode with speculation.
Yeah.
They are pretty determined. So finally, one question we like to wrap up interviews with is, what are you playing right now? Because we are gamers here who work at SOE. So, I mean, I play EverQuest because I love EverQuest. I got that addiction. But what are you playing right now?
I feel like it's important to play a lot of different games, and so I try to play a lot of different stuff, different consoles, different PC titles, even handheld stuff. So over the course of the last couple of weeks, I've been playing Fallout New Vegas, EQ2, EQ1, Words with Friends, Dominion, Magic the Gathering, The Binding of Isaac. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming here and talking to us. We really appreciate it. And,
yeah, my pleasure.
Now we'll go back to the rest of the people at the round table. Thanks.
Back to work.
And we are back. We hope you enjoyed that pre-recorded interview with Eric and Jonathan. We are going to do this new segment that we've started called Ask the Audience. We've kind of done this before on our forums and stuff, but this time I asked our Reddit players. We have an EQ, there's an EQ subreddit, EverQuest, and I asked them to share their memories with us. We got a few general ones, like kind of that resonated through all of the posts, like Keynotes to Freeport runs. I'm sure you guys did that. I know I did at least 1 or 2 or 3
or 400.
Yeah,
Yeah, like anytime you basically wanted to make a character with your friend and you wanted to play a different race, you had to run forever.
I'll make an Erudite. You make a Wood Elf.
Yeah.
It'll be good times.
GG.
Yeah.
And then you realize after you're leveling up, you're like, what was I thinking?
Yeah. I'm sure we all fell from Kelothin several times.
I still do regularly. Fortunately, I tend to have Lev on now.
Yeah. How about this one? Accidentally attacking the Priest of Discord.
Actually, haven't done that. I watched people do that.
I wonder how tough the Priest of Discord is now. Have we upgraded the Priest of Discord?
I don't know.
I kind of feel sad if he can't one-shot me anymore.
How about running through Kithakor and actually being scared?
That was a big one back in the day, especially in that cross-continent run.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really hated going all the way south through the Wraith Mountains, down into Inithul.
Mm-hmm. And we covered this earlier, but epic quests, finishing those up. A lot of people talked about that. Eric, would you like to read Bobix?
I would, but I do not have the text in front of me. Okay, there we go. I've been magically provided the text through the power of handing. So, Bobby Bick related a story about following a trail of silver and gold coins through Freeport, neatly laid out in a line. Of course, that line led straight into the arena where he was immediately slaughtered.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I definitely remember all the art people used to do with laying coins out, things like that.
Oh, man. Our next one here is from Alsmik, and I'm probably pronouncing that name terribly wrong.
We apologize in advance for any names we're slaughtering.
And he says, or she says,
He,
you know this for a fact?
That's what he said.
Okay. Oh, no. I did this run only starting in Iridan with an enchanter around level 8 or so. It took me 2 hours, if memory serves. No deaths. I was getting directions from a level 30 friend, bard friend in Tells. That was probably me. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't know about EQ Atlas at the time. It was super intense and very satisfying when I finally saw those stone walls and the Freeport guards.
Yes.
I believe Alsmack is one of the returning champions for our SOE Live EQ tournament for the last 2 years.
Oh, way cool. All right.
That's rad.
Cool.
Yeah.
You have Johnny Dogma, too.
Johnny Dogma writes about LAN parties.
Yay!
How we miss getting together on weekends for the marathon EQ sessions with my buddies, just tooling around doing stuff.
I totally did that.
I was one of those people.
Yeah.
I totally did that and then would proceed to ignore my friends because they're terrible at MMOs.
Yes.
And they always make me play the healer.
See, I was fortunate enough to have decently skilled friends.
No, my friends are just terrible human beings.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Were they just, like, killing things that you were like, no?
They never quite got the concept that, one person who has actual pulling skills should be the puller. They're like, no, I want to do it. I'm the leader.
You're like, I'm the monk. Let me pull.
So Blade 2040 wrote about how he played when he was in middle school. He was,
Long story.
Yes, he did a long story. And
Very
he played,
nice, by the way.
Yes. He played on his dad's computer for hours and hours on weekends. And he said his dad eventually became curious at what he was playing. And he got his dad hooked on the game. And they played together for a while.
Awesome.
I know. He says now, 14 years later, he's looking back on playing EverQuest and how it's more refined and he's a more refined player. He says he's played almost every MMO out there since EverQuest released, and there's nothing out there like it. The lore's still fun. Everything is still awesome about it. There's so much to explore and achieve. And I really wanted to point out the end of his post. He said, as sappy as it sounds, this game played a huge role in my life as a gamer, and I wouldn't trade my experiences in original EverQuest for anything. That got me. I was like, oh.
So this
so
one's going to
true.
get you too. Right before we set up for the podcast, I was reading my private messages on the forums, and somebody posted or sent a message to me saying that they were going to be returning to SOE Live this year, and they're bringing their 82-year-old mother who plays.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, what's the
I
next
wish my
one?
parents played with me. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I want to
I'm
just.
Really glad my parents don't.
My mom does not understand how to even turn on her PC.
Oh.
So
It's better that way. Then you don't have to fix it.
Yeah.
I
All right.
still have to fix it. So I actually wanted, before I read this next one from Zini on Reddit, I do want to note something else that someone said. Alaska Winter 923 in Twitch TV said another cool memory was Halloween events, blood red skies and wolverines
Yes.
everywhere.
Yep, that's how Bloody Kithakor started. I mean, before Kithakor was not a scary zone until that first Halloween.
Yes. I actually have the document and the script for that quest and how it was done originally.
Wow.
I need to send that over to the design team.
We should totally auction that off.
Well, it's a printout of a file. I mean, it's not like somebody hand wrote the script.
Darn.
It lacks sort of, the coolness.
Yeah, I
We
guess.
could have somebody write it up.
There we go. We'll have Alan Vancouver
On like a
write
scroll.
it.
All right, tell
Okay.
us Zini's message.
Okay, Zini wrote, I will never forget the chill that went up my spine when I heard the laugh. Yes, that laugh. The laugh of a vengeful musician, composer, lyricist, soloist in Everfrost, as he quickly sent me to my death. Many nights I cursed at the screen as my first character, a poor shaman of the north, with nothing but a newbie two-handed staff, died repeatedly due to my own stupidity. It wasn't fair that he had to suffer due to my gaming abilities, but it was to be his fate. He made it to 50 in the original game before the expansion, before he was retired for other classes.
Dude, making it to 50 back then
Yeah.
was like
Yeah, it was.
hardcore.
Yeah, it was. All right, 2 more.
Okay, so we have, I'm going to call you Graugrim. That is a horrible mispronunciation, and I'm sorry.
I think it is actually
Graugrim.
Graugrim. It looks
Graugrim.
like that.
Yeah.
It could be. I don't know. We're running with it. It's Graugrim.
Yeah, let's go.
There was the first time he was knocking around in Lava Storm. I think it was December 24th or 25th, Christmas in
He
Lava
remembers the
Storm
date, yeah.
of 1999. A message popped up on the screen, and then it began to snow. He's never seen it happen again. That's probably the very original Santa Claus event.
Yeah, actually, I was reading these on the way home from work last night, and Zatoja, who's in my carpool, she goes, I wrote that quest!
She very much did.
Yeah. And she responded in the Reddit thread. All right, the last one's from Firil. The first time my buddy and I fought Evil Eyes in the Gorge of King's Orb, blind made the entire screen black. Even chat windows disappeared. We thought his monitor cut out, and we were hitting and wiggling cables. It wasn't until a few days later we realized what happened. Totally had that happen to me. I thought I broke my computer. Like,
Yep.
yeah. All right. One last segment for you guys. We've been playing EverQuest just to talk about how it's having its 14th anniversary, and I mean Eric always plays. He's hardcore.
Hardcore!
But we did want to share we have a new new PR manager here at SOE, and Eric found some juicy information about him.
It's really nice. He has a level 92 mage. He was actually asking me advice for where to grind. Making 92 in EverQuest is not a small feat, even nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to be working with people outside of like game development or community or customer service who play the games.
Yeah.
You know, EverQuest is
Hardcore.
So a lot of people will play EverQuest 2. And so it's nice to be working with a PR person who's rolling EverQuest. Although I believe another one of our PR managers actually was like an EverQuest player back in the day as well.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys play? I mean, what characters do you play? What zones, and what are you guys into?
So I made level 100 finally, like probably about a month ago. I was totally slacking. Mostly because if I don't make level 100, I don't have to raid.
Yeah.
My raid requirements waived, so I'm like, well,
Right.
I could just slack. I've been doing a lot of power leveling because I'm that guy. I've gotten every class to 80 plus now, with the exception of Bard and Warrior, which are in their 70s. Just because I'm not a real big fan of Bards or Warriors. Bards have lots of buttons.
Yeah, buttons.
Too many buttons, even now with the melody command.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of AoEing in House of Soul Zones because it's fun and easy and profitable. It's good times, or just playing my alts. I have a level 95 Ranger, level 95 Cleric now.
Cool.
Those are the big ones.
What about you, Meg?
Well, recently,
Meg.
my boyfriend and I decided to make new characters. I don't know why. When we have high-level characters, we're ridiculously silly. We were originally playing a combo, but he really wanted to play a paladin again. So, and he wanted to make a new one because he wanted to have all his attributes the way he wanted it. So he started leveling that up, and I started leveling up a shaman. And so we've been doing that. And basically, standing at zone lines pulling mobs to us is pretty much what we're doing right now.
There's a proud tradition.
I see.
So it's not as exciting as your stories, but that's pretty much what's going on with us in that realm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Doing the Golden Path?
Yes.
Well, or Hero's Journey. I'm sorry.
Hero's
Hero's Journey in EverQuest.
Golden Path is
EverQuest
EverQuest
2.
2.
Yeah.
Yes. Similar concept, though.
It's a very similar concept.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's about it for us. Thank you all for joining us for podcast 144. We hope you enjoyed our very long podcast and the interview with Jonathan and hearing about the anniversary.
Rocks!
Roar! Let us know what we're doing at podcast@soe.sony.com. And we'll see you in 2 weeks when we're going to talk about Free Realms in podcast 145. We hope to see you then.
Toodles!
Party on, yo.
Sony.